young woman is dead, and 13 people are injured after two boats collided on Lake Michigan near Chicago on a Thursday night that should have been nothing more than a summer evening on the water. Johanna Gregory was 26 years old. She had just started a new life in Chicago, and she never made it home. Here is everything we know. At approximately 11:30 p.m. on Thursday night, two vessels collided on Lake Michigan near Chicago's Monroe Harbor, approximately 1.5 miles from shore. According to investigators, one boat attempted to overtake the other when the collision occurred. The force of the impact was severe. Two people on board were thrown into the water, but were rescued by other passengers before emergency services arrived. In total, 14 people were injured in the crash, one fatally. Victims range in age from just 18 to 26 years old. 4 of the 13 surviving injured remain in a serious condition. It was a warm summer night on one of America's most iconic lakes, and it ended in tragedy. The woman who lost her life was Johanna Gregory, 26 years old, originally from Rochester, New York. Johanna had recently made the move to Chicago to begin a new chapter of her life. She had started a new job as a pediatric occupational therapist, working with children between 6 months and 4 years old. She was not just building a career, she was changing lives. Her former colleague Elizabeth Benny said that Johanna had made a significant impact on many families during her time working with them in Chicago. A future full of promise, gone at 26 years old on a Thursday night on Lake Michigan. Johanna's father, Douglas Gregory, spoke to the Chicago Sun-Times in the aftermath of his daughter's death. His words were the words of a father whose world has been shattered. He described Johanna as the sweetest human being, a daughter with a heart of gold. "I don't understand how someone so sweet could be taken from us," he said tearfully. There are no words adequate to respond to a father saying that about his daughter. There is only grief, and the hope that Johanna's story, her kindness, her work with children, her move to Chicago full of hope, is remembered alongside the tragedy of how she died. Of the 13 people injured in the collision, 4 remain in a serious condition at the time of this report. All victims are aged between 18 and 26, young people at the beginning of their adult lives. 2 of those involved were thrown into the water by the force of the impact. A terrifying experience in open water at night, but both were pulled to safety by other passengers before emergency services arrived. We wish all of the injured a full and speedy recovery. An investigation into the collision is currently underway. Officers are looking into whether alcohol or drugs played a role in the crash, a common factor in boating accidents, particularly late at night. Water and weather conditions are not believed to have been a contributing factor, according to investigators. An autopsy has been scheduled by the medical examiner to formally determine Johanna Gregory's cause of death. Officials have acknowledged there are many questions that cannot be answered until the full investigation is complete. No charges have been announced at this time. With 4th of July approaching, one of the busiest periods of the year for recreational boating across the United States. The U.S. Coast Guard has used this tragedy as an urgent reminder to boaters everywhere. Coast Guard Lieutenant Commander James Alling issued a statement saying this collision serves as a sobering reminder that safety on the water begins long before leaving the dock. He urged all boaters to always wear a life jacket, maintain a proper lookout, operate at a safe speed, and never, under any circumstances, operate a vessel under the influence of alcohol or drugs. Taking these simple precautions, Alling said, can make the difference between a close call and a tragedy. Johanna Gregory's death is proof of exactly that. Johanna Gregory moved to Chicago full of hope. A new job, a future ahead of her treating children and changing lives. On a Thursday night on Lake Michigan, that future was taken away. Her father called her the sweetest human being. Her colleagues said she had a heart of gold. And this 4th of July weekend, as millions of Americans head to the water to celebrate, her name should serve as a reminder that every moment on the water carries a responsibility to be safe. Wear your life jacket. Stay alert. Never drink and boat. We will continue to follow this investigation and bring you updates as they emerge. If you found this report informative, please subscribe so you don't miss our next update.